Hello, beautiful and beloved ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. And welcome back to many of you. And if you wonder about this strange title that I have, in this new year, I'm going to be bringing you a message at the end of every other video about this historic shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness for the entire planet. And today is a message video, plus I also have an entire huge playlist of 5D messages. But now we're going to begin with Zhou, Shen, and Guo Qin, Big Fish.
天空尽头的角落，大雨在梦境的缝隙里游过，凝望你沉睡的轮廓，看海天一色，听风起。
All right, wait. First of all, how extraordinary his voice is. It's just so pretty. I would swear it was a female. I mean, it just is in the female realms. Now, I don't know if he arranges, if you will. And that's extraordinary for me. And I don't know if he also goes to the lower realms or not. You guys can let me know in the comments if you like. But wow. And let's hear her too. I'm sure she does a beautiful job. By the way, friends, don't forget that I now have my member tiers, and if you'd like to check them out, there's a video about them. I've been furiously posting videos in there for you. So there's a video about the 3 tiers. Let's go back a little where she starts. Here we go.
沉睡的轮廓，看海天一色，听风起雨落，执子手，吹散苍茫茫。雨的翅膀已经太辽阔，我松开时间的绳索，它已飞去，它已离我而去，更怕你永远停留在这里。
This is also sheer poetry as I'm reading the words here. Holy moly. It really is. Is this can you guys let me know in the comments, is this a Chinese song, a specific song that's already known? Or is it new? Or is it, something that was well known? Or what's the situation with this? And I guess it's talking about love, but it's talking about the big fish imagery. I'm guessing this is a metaphor. Or maybe you can fill me in on a little bit about what this means. Let's go back a little and hear him. Beautiful. It just makes me think too that, love is love is love the world over. And two young people in love, even with all this imagery, that's just a universal human thing, isn't it? My goodness, you never get tired of it either. Let's continue.
大雨的翅膀已经太辽阔，我松开时间的绳索，看你飞远去，看你离我而去，原来你生来就属于天际，那一天。
Listen to that again. Oh my goodness. Listen to him. How beautiful. He's just like giving a harmony and a riff with her at the same time. Hold on.
牵的绳索，看你飞远去，看你离我而去，原来你生来就属于天际，每一滴泪水都向你流淌去，倒流回最初的相遇。
Oh, I can see why they're calling him a second Dimash. That is beautiful. Let's go back and hear it again. I love this. Look at her. Even she is like, whoa, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. These guys, I think the judges like to wait till the last minute so they can make sure they get it in, but they don't want to be the first one to do it. Let's continue.
倒流回最初的相遇，倒流回最初的相遇。
I don't know, maybe the judge.
谢谢国庆，
I guess the judge must have already pushed it. How could you not have pushed it for that performance? There's no way you could have not pushed it. Wow, wow. Was that awesome or what? Oh my goodness, wow. Yeah, wow. Okay, so I didn't know about him like doing all that riffing around in the higher angelic realms and all. That's the first time I saw that. It's only like about, I think it's the second time I've seen him. So, wow, that was phenomenal. And she has a beautiful voice too. Ironically, he was doing a lot more of the higher realm machinations than she was. She was kind of providing the bottom, if you will, for it. And it has a beautiful voice as well, no doubt about it. But whoa, that was just totally awesome. I just love that. Just loved it. And now we have to put it on our scale. This is not a scale about how well they did it. Let me be clear. So you fans, don't get upset with me, because this is my mission, is to bring forward information about third dimensional consciousness versus fifth dimensional consciousness. So what we're talking about in the scale is simply, is the song pulling us more toward third dimensional fear, pain, sadness, anger, suffering? That's a 1 on my scale. Or 5th dimension, love, peace, joy, bliss, fun, play, ease. In other words, how high is the vibration of the song? This is a very, very high song. Now, I don't know what the business is about this one leaving the one, and he doesn't want the one to leave, but also doesn't want the one to stay, because he wants the one he loves to be free to explore or do whatever. So I'm not quite sure what the exact nuances and meaning of that are. You can fill it in the comments, but still there's a desire, like a conflicting desire about leaving, staying, right? So that's the only thing that maybe tweaks it back a little more 3rd dimension, but still it's very high. Like you feel like you're floating up in the clouds with the angels, don't you, with that song? Everything about it, the words, the meaning, the way they sing it, the way their voices are up in those beautiful, higher, soft, soothing, harmonic realms. I mean, the whole thing is very, very high. So like, oh, shoo, this is very high. I'm going to go with a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, 9.65. Yes, that really brought me up. That song really brought me up. And I don't go that high very often, by the way, friends. So that was a very high vibrational song. And you always have to leave room at the top, because somebody else could sort of top it, like in the Olympics or whatever, right? But still, that was such a high song. So beautiful, so profound. Thank you guys who turned me on to this singer. One of you guys did in the notes, so I really much appreciate it, because this is a good one. I'm enjoying this one. Okay, if you'd like to know a little bit about me, friends, you can go to the About Me video on this channel, which actually leads you. There's a link from that to a longer video about what I call my forged in the fire of 3rd dimension journey in my younger days on this planet. So, and if you'd like to know some of the things I've created, because, I was 20 years in personal growth and development. I was a transformational coach, and I helped other people to transform their lives. And I also have a largesse of knowledge about natural healing. So all of that can be found in the link in the notes about Lorelei on Patreon. All the things I've created for you there. So check it out. Okay, let's get to our message, our 5th dimensional message. What is the true power of your word? Your word. Let me put on my timer so I don't go too long on this, because I know people don't want to watch ever in a day here. I'll once I get my timer goes off, then I'll sort of start to begin to wrap things up. So here we go. So what's the true value of your word, our word? So what we mean, of course, by that, you put your word on something, or you just say something. Just what you say. Okay. And also what you say when you say give your word, for an instance. Say, I promise I'll do this, or I promise I'll do that. All the things that you promise to other people, you promise to yourself is your word. And just what you say out of your mouth, even what you think, is also another aspect of your word, because from the thought comes the word, right? So we all kind of know, and I was many years in personal growth and development, and the one thing that they would bang away at us with over and over and over again, you really could not do much if you were going to not keep your word. It was so important to keep your word. And sometimes it was very annoying. And I remember having a real upset about it one time when I was trying so hard to keep my word in one of the first courses I took. And one time I was late because I'd promised to be on time, which everybody had to promise. And then they called me on it. They said, you didn't keep your word. I need you to re-give your word, make a new promise. And I just broke down in tears, because in those days, I know it seems so silly, right? But in those days, I had everything wrapped up around trying to be perfect, and had to be perfect in every way. And I was trying so hard to be perfect, in this course. So sometimes it was tough for them constantly saying, give your word and then keep your word. And then I realized after many years that here's why they're doing that. If you ever notice when someone tells you they're going to do something and then they don't do it, doesn't this start to color your opinion of them? Doesn't this start to make you think less of them? Like you don't think you can rely on the person. You don't think that the person is going to follow through. You start to get a less and a less and a less and a less seeing of that person. By the way, first of all, what do you think you're doing to yourself when you're constantly saying, I'll be there at such and such, or I'll do this and that, and you don't do it. See, every time you do that, that's the other reason they would be on us like on this, all the time. Because every time you do that, you got a little less seeing of how powerful you are. And then a little less seeing of how powerful you are. And then a little less seeing of how powerful you are. So like what you say has absolutely no meaning. You see, what you declare with that divine God spark of a mouth of yours and the thoughts in your head, what you declare, the more you break your word, the more you don't stick to your promises. It's not really so much about what it does to anybody else. It's about what it does to you. You see, yes, it's annoying to other people when we constantly break our word, or even ever break our word when we've promised something. Our spouses, our loved ones, it's very annoying to them, right? But it's even worse for what it does for our seeing of ourselves. Right now, if you consider that in the whole business of being, existence, really very existence, came forth by the Creator's powerful word, or his putting into place thought. Of course, he didn't have a mouth, so to speak, but the thought was the word, and he put in place, let there be light. And from this, everything came into existence. Now, if you notice, right, he wasn't saying, well, I think it'd be good to have light. A light would be kind of nice. Maybe I'll have some light. Maybe I won't have some light. I'm thinking about light. This is I've been thinking over light. No, he said, put his powerful word in place. He, she, all energies and of the creator of everything, or what we call prime creator, said, let there be light. And that's how powerful is the word of a creator being. And whether you know it or not, you are a creator being. So every time you put in place your word and then you don't keep it, you lessen your power. Because now what does the universe, so to speak, think? Okay, what happens with the universe that basically supplies you? The universe is like, you might kind of liken it to, you go to the grocery store and you say, I want this, this, and this, and the universe will give it to you. If you say it as the powerful creator that you are, the universe's job is to give you what you say, what you are creating. But if you're going, well, I might like some steak, but then again, I might not like steak. I could think about maybe some ham, but ham's not so good either. Tomorrow I'll have steak. Well, maybe I'll have steak the next day or the day after. The universe literally does not know what to give you. When you have such a low understanding of your word that you're throwing your word around and you're not keeping it, how does the universe know even what to give you? The universe cannot. Because you're giving mixed messages all the time. And this is one of the biggest reasons why we actually don't get what we want in this world, is because we put our word on what we want once in a great while. And most of the time we're putting our word on what we don't want. Oh my goodness, I'm so broke, I'm so sick, I'm so sad, I'm so upset, I'm so this, I'm so that. Here you are telling the universe everything you don't want. Meanwhile, right? Once in a while, in a great blue moon, if you read a book sometime and they tell you to tell the universe what you want, you might say to the universe, well, yeah, I'd kind of like to have, a house on the beach, but I'm so sick, I'm so tired, I'm this and that. And then you go, I'll get that house on the beach I'll start saving money and I'll get that house on the beach in 2 years. And then in 2 years you haven't saved a penny. You go, well, I'll get that house on the beach in another year. And another year comes and you haven't saved a penny, right? And so what is the universe that is your grocery store, so to speak, to make of all this? You're not putting in your order. You're putting orders in for a lot of other junk. Sickness, okay, I'll give you that. Let's see, you put an order in for being poor, I'll give you that. You're putting lots of orders in, right? But they're not the orders for the things you want. So it's so critically important to first of all, determine what you want to give your word to. Don't just willy-nilly give your word. If you don't think you're going to keep your word, do not give your word. And I mean, don't promise. And I mean, don't even say you're going to do the thing. Don't even say you're going to do it, because that's just as strong as a promise, by the way. Just to say you're going to do it and then not do it, very bad message to send out there. So don't even give your word. Consider what you're going to give your word to. But when you give your word, you must, if you really want to have power in this world, you must You must sort of see it or understand it as my word is law. And so then you keep your word, and you keep your word, and you keep your word over and over and over again, so that the universe begins to know and understand that what this one says, this one wants, and I will give it to this one. Now, once in a great while, something comes up and you can't keep your word. And in that case, the thing to do is to call the person or whomever you promised and make a new promise. Or if it's a promise to yourself, okay, beloved creator, I know I didn't keep my word in this, but I'm making a new promise, to do it by such and such a time, right? And then, or beloved higher self, or beloved angels, or whoever you talk to in the higher realms, whatever is your thing, God, Allah, whatever. Tell those ones, say, okay, I didn't keep my word, but I'm now making a new promise. And here's my promise. If you have a promise to that nature. But the point is, most of the time you're keeping your word. And once in a great while, if you can't keep your word, then you're making a new promise. That's what we were trained in. Okay. Keep your word, keep your word, keep your word. Really can't do it. Make a new promise and stick to that. Like if it's a second go around, better stick to it, because you don't want to you better make sure you stick to it on the second go around. So I have a friend who's chronically sick, and I give her a lot of grace for making appointments and not coming, and then making appointments and not coming. And I give a lot of grace because I know she's very sick. But my seeing of her, just so you know, I love her and everything, I don't see her as a reliable person at all. I see her as a very unreliable person. So I love her. That's not the case. That doesn't get in the way of that. But my seeing of her is less because of that. So, what we need to really, really now, that's not me like I'm judging her or criticizing her or anything like that. It's just that I know for a fact that if she makes an appointment to come and do whatever with me, she's probably not going to come do it. She's probably going to put it off, and maybe she'll do it 2 or 3 times later that she makes the appointment. I just know that, right? So, it just really does color how others see us in the world, like a no kidding kind of thing. So, okay, beloved ones, my timer went off. I don't want to go too long on you. So that is my message here for you today. Really, really have a powerful relationship to your word, and be very, very conscious of what's coming out of your mouth, and keeping your word and not giving your word if you're not going to keep it. That's the one big way to bring forth the life that you would dream of, the life that you want. And by the way, when you're in the 5th dimension, let me just backtrack and say this too. When you're in the 5th dimension, it's automatic. What you say comes true. That's why we can't move up in vibration until we start, dealing with what we say out of our mouths. Because if we try to move up in vibration with all this crap coming out of our mouths, we're going to, in those higher realms, we're creating it instantaneously. And that is not wanted. If you're saying something like, I'm sick, I'm unhappy, I'm this, I'm that, right? I'm poor, I'm whatever. So that's the other thing about it regarding the 5th dimension. Okay, beloved ones, I'm going to go ahead and send you that beautiful 5th dimensional energy. The love, the peace, the bliss, the joy, the fun, the play, the ease, the saying out of your mouth what it is you want and making it come true. Okay, coming at you now. Shh. Namaste. I honor the God in you.